Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor. We have been working to promote the cause of justice and to increase the likelihood of love everywhere, for all, for over a century and a half. We are committed to being responsible stewards to the web of life that connects us all. The rocks, the grass, the water, the animals, human and wild. From time to time, we take a moment in our service to hear from a representative of one of the organizations working within this community, doing our work for love and justice in the wider world. We call them social justice connections. And so, I welcome to your attention, on behalf of UU Civs, Kari Hatcher-Kay.
Hello, good morning, my fellow UUs. I come before you with deep gratitude for the tapestry of love and action that our UUs before have woven and that calls us to act now. And I come before you with deep gratitude for the voices of the people of color who have led and sung and called forever, and that maybe, finally, we are waking up, we are listening, we are learning. And I come before you as a white woman, so aware of my privilege and participation in this racist, oppressive system, and so ready to listen and learn, and ready for the transformation in my personal life, in our congregational life, and in our nation. And we come before you as UU Civs, closely aligned with the UU the Vote national movement. UU Civs is our UUAA civic engagement team, formerly known to many of you as UUAA Indivisible. And we have 3 invitations for you. One is to start with a few deep breaths. And as I talk, just please deepen in. We do this more slowly in our meetings. But as you take these deep breaths, I wonder what stirs in you when you pause to recognize that the privilege to breathe this breath is not guaranteed in our nation. How does that sit with you? How does that move you? And what does it call you toward engagement, in particular in this 2020 electoral cycle? From this inquiry, we want to invite you to 2 more opportunities to dig a little deeper and join us for 2 events. One is on June 23rd. Of course, both of these are Zoom events, to an event hosted by Interfaith Council for Peace and Justice and co-hosted by a number of IPSI and Ann Arbor congregations and organizations. We will be watching a very short documentary called Suppressed, The Fight to Vote, a provocative reality check about systematic voter suppression in our nation, and an invitation to act, to especially address in our local 48197, 48198, Ypsilanti and surrounding townships, districts, to address voter suppression. So please join us. You'll learn a lot and hopefully be very inspired. Secondly, we'll be having a congregation-wide town hall on July 8th. That's right, we'd love to have all of you to come together, led by youth and adults, learning about specific steps we can each take to making a difference and walking away with your own specific plan for engagement and making a difference in this electoral cycle. I leave you with a question. When you wake up the day after the election in August and November, do you want to know you've done the most you could to make the difference that you can in living our UU values and our UU 2050 vision to address sustainability and racial justice through your efforts to be sure that all voices are heard at the ballot box? Please join us June 23rd, July 8th, and find out more by clicking the UU the Vote button on our UUAA homepage. We look forward to collaborating with you. Thank you.
Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing with me. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Two parts now. Part one with me. Part two with me. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice, let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Three parts now. Part one with me. Part two with me. Part three with me. Rejoice, sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things rejoice. Sing and 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 rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Four parts. Part one with me. Sing and rejoice, 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 let all things living now sing and rejoice, let all things living now sing and rejoice.
On behalf of the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, welcome to today's worship service. We're so glad you've decided to join us. Whether you're here locally or somewhere else around the country or around the world, all of you who you are is welcome in this community. If you'd like to learn more about who we are, please feel free to join us for social hour after the service and ask the host to be put in the newcomer chat room. Once there, someone can talk with you about this community, about Unitarian Universalism, and answer any questions you may have. Also, if you would like to add something into the chat right now about where you're joining us from, you're warmly invited to do so that we have a sense of who the we is today. Now, today's service is the blessing of the animals. Now, it's going to be a little different from the way we've usually done this in the past, obviously, since we're not in person. But the core message of honoring the animals in our lives, whom we love so dearly, that remains. And indeed, if you would like to bring your pet to the social hour afterwards and have it, wave a paw to the other people you are chatting with, you're warmly welcome to do that as well. So thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us in this sacred time together.
On this Sunday, with the animals you love gathered near or appreciated from afar, I invite you to light a pet-safe candle with us and say our chalice lighting words. We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. When we are together in person and in spirit, we remind ourselves of our shared commitment to our community with the recitation of our covenant. Please join with me and say, "The spirit of this church is love, and service is its law. This is our covenant with each other, to dwell together in peace, to search for truth in love, and to help one another."
Buddy and the Bunnies in Don't Play With Your Food by Bob Shea.
Roar! Don't make me come up there, mountain. Flowers, gross. P.U. Out of my way, trees. Dry up, lake. You're not so hot, son. You better run, birds. Hi, I'm Buddy,
Said Buddy.
I'm a monster. I'm gonna eat all you bunnies.
Oh no, said the bunnies. No, please no. We were about to make cupcakes.
Cupcakes? What kind of monster do you think I am?
Said Buddy.
Cupcakes first, bunnies for dessert.
They played hide and seek while the cupcakes baked in the oven.
1, 2, 3.
Ding! Be careful, Buddy. The pan is very hot. Each bunny had 1 cupcake. Buddy had 5. There were 4 cupcakes left. Buddy ate them.
I'm so full. Would you bunnies mind if I eat you tomorrow?
Nice meeting you, Buddy, said the bunnies. Buddy came back the next day.
Hey guys, hop in my mouth so I can eat you.
It's too hot to be eaten, said the bunnies. Can we go swimming instead?
I don't know,
Said Buddy. Please, please, please.
How about I eat you then I go swimming?
Oh no, you mustn't go swimming right after you eat. You'll get a cramp,
This is way more fun than a cramp.
said Buddy.
If you bunnies are half as delicious as you are nice, I am in for a treat.
Buddy and the bunnies laughed and splashed all afternoon. Swimming under the hot sun tuckered everyone out. Buddy and the bunnies took a nap in the tall, cool grass. When Buddy woke up, he thought,
I really should eat them, but I hate to wake them. They look so cute when they're napping.
Buddy patted the bunnies' heads and whispered,
I promise to eat you tomorrow.
Then he tiptoed away.
Rawr! Oh, what the?
The next day, Buddy couldn't believe his eyes. All the bunnies wore stripes just like his. Surprise! Yelled the bunnies. We started a Stripey Stripe Club in your honor,
That's so nice,
said Buddy, wiping away a tear.
Now climb in my mouth so I can eat you.
Oh no! First the club will have to vote on that. There was 1 vote for eating the bunnies. There were 7 votes for going to the carnival.
7?
They played all the games and rode all the rides. The bunnies liked the spinny, whippy rides the best. Not Buddy.
Bad news, bunnies. I don't feel so good. I don't think I'll be able to eat you today.
We know, Buddy. See you tomorrow. The next day, Buddy said,
Okay, no more fooling around. Today I'm gonna eat you bunnies first thing.
Oh no, said the bunnies. Didn't you like baking cupcakes with us?
Yeah, sure, that was fun.
Said Buddy. And didn't you like going swimming with us?
Yeah, that was a blast.
Didn't you like going to the carnival with us?
Sure, until I got dizzy.
Well, then you can't eat us.
Why not?
Didn't your mom ever tell you?
Tell me what?
Don't play with your food.
You bunnies tricked me!
Said Buddy. Oh no, said the bunnies. We wouldn't do that. We like you, Buddy,
Now I feel terrible.
said Buddy.
After I eat your bunnies, I'll be all alone. No stripy stripe club, no swimming, no hide and seek. Hey, weren't there 7 of you yesterday? Wait a second. My food never makes me sad. Maybe you are not my food at all. Maybe you are my friends. And I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to eat your friends.
The end.
The good work of our community is made real by each and every one of us. Whether we are a longtime member of this community, a regular friend, or someone who is still in the process of discovering us and getting to know this community better, each and every one of us contributes through our presence and through our sharing of financial generosity in bringing alive the deepest potentials of what we can be and do together. We are a community that is committed to personal learning and growth. We are a community that is committed to the ethical engagement of the issues of our time. We are a community that is committed to the ongoing transformation that is needed to live into a more just and fair world that recognizes the dignity of all. In support of these values and all the good work that we engage in together, that can only be done by all of us, we invite you to give as generously as you're able to our congregation's financial offering today and in the days ahead. You may do so by clicking on the link that will appear in the chat box or going to UUAA.org/giving. We thank you for your generosity.
I invite you into a spirit of prayer, meditation, or contemplation of ultimate things. It's hard to express sometimes just how much our animals mean to us. How much harder, then, to find words after a beloved animal dies. The grief sleeps on the bed, trots down the block, sings from a perch, curls up in corners. The wordlessness that made their companionship such a comfort becomes a deafening silence in their absence. Together, let us take a moment of silence to honor the memories of those beloved animals who have blessed our lives. As you feel moved, you're welcome to share their names in the chat or let their names resonate in the silent sanctuary of your heart. May we ever treasure the gift of their love and the blessing of those bonds. Amen.
As we hold in our hearts the images of the animals that have left us, that are no longer living and a part of our families, I'd like to take a moment to invite you into a pastoral reflection with me. I recognize that some of us may have submitted, and some of the images we saw and recognize those beloved animals. Others of us may not have had the opportunity or may not have been able to bring ourselves to share the image of an animal that we have lost, loved and lost. Wherever you may find yourself, know that whether that loss and the pain of that loss is recent or older, you are not alone. You are not alone. We live in a culture and a society that doesn't recognize the loss of animal family members as quite being on par, being the same thing as the loss of a person in our lives. And certainly that's true. And yet, at the same time, for the person who held an animal as beloved, as held them as a family member, the loss is just as deep. It can be just as deep as losing a human family member. The pain can linger and last, and the impact of that sadness can hit us just as strongly. It has been only in the past couple of years that I've had to see two animals very beloved by me into their final days of old age. One of them just recently. If you saw in that slideshow an orange tabby cat, that is my beloved Tigger, who I lost just as the COVID-19 pandemic was hitting us in southern Michigan, just as we were going into lockdown. And in a ironic parallel, I found that, as all of us as a society, we were wrestling with an illness that affects respiration and breathing. And that was what marked my Tigger's final days. He was having difficulty breathing, which pointed to heart failure, and we had to let him go. It is very hard, even when we know an animal has lived a long and good life, when we know we've done our level best to care for them, it is still really hard to say goodbye. A couple of years ago, our family dog similarly reached his final days of old age. I still grieve that loss, even though some years have passed. He was a good dog, one of the most loving and gentle dogs I've known. A bit of a contrast to the current one living in my house that does not have quite the same personality. We take time to honor as a community that these losses are real losses, and that these animals enriched our sense of family and connection to the planet we're a part of, to the living universe that we are a part of, beyond the human species. It's a beautiful thing. It matters that they were a part of our lives. They provided comfort and companionship and love. And that love, as we know with the losses we experience with our beloved humans in our lives, love endures in memory. Our beloveds don't leave us. They stay with us. The love that was shared remains eternal in our hearts. And when we allow the sadness to work through us, we acknowledge it, we feel it. We don't suppress it or hide it. We allow emotions to freely flow. And we return to that abiding love, the beauty and love of lives shared. We can find ourselves in the place of opening again to new life and new love and new possibilities. It takes time, and we human beings can find our way there. In recent weeks, our family opened our home and our hearts to 2 kittens. They'll be part of the next slideshow about the animals that'll honor the animals that are currently in our lives. And what a source of joy that has truly been. I have thought numerous times that my beloved Tigger would look at these kittens and feel really glad for our family, that we have found new feline companions, and that they are embodying love and connection to humans in the way that he did. That brings me some solace, and that brings me some comfort. And it is not lost on me that in the time of this pandemic and so much social uncertainty that we are living in the midst of, I have heard story after story, both locally and nationally, from people everywhere, about how we human beings are turning to animals and plants and the earth to return during a time of uncertainty to fundamental connections that ground us to the living cosmos of which we are a part. What a beautiful thing. Countless stories of folks working in their gardens to plant life. Countless stories of folks tending to trees. Countless stories of animal shelters finding their adoption rates way, way up, the highest they have been in years, as we seek to bring alive and expand our capacity to care, as we step into the fullness of that. Even as we live in uncertainty, we find a way to come back to the bounty of life and the bounty of love. May we each continue to do so in the ways that speak to us.
If we were gathered in person, the other clergy and I would make our way around the room and offer an individual blessing to each creature present. Today, we send forth a shared blessing to the animals we love. The life force that animates us humans flows through every being on earth. The two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the 6, 8, or more leggeds, the winged ones, the finned ones, the slithering ones, those that bellow, those that hiss, those that caw, those that cackle. The love that abounds in the universe flows between us humans and the animals with whom we share our lives. The wagging of a tail waiting at the door, the thrum of a purr rumbling our bones, the trust of smooth scales curling around a wrist, the nuzzle of a muzzle after a satisfying canter. May our animal companions be content, healthy, and full of joy. May we ever treasure the gift of their love and the blessing of those bonds. Amen.
There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone, and it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Tennis, help me teach them. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone, and it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Now we need some altos to help us out. Keep on, Dennis. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone. That's it. And it flows through the mountains, and it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. That's it. Sopranos in the house. Here we go. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone. Get ready to pick your favorite. And it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Everybody in the house, pick your favorite part. Here we go. There's a river. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone. Yeah. Say, and it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yeah. Help me keep a beat, everybody. Now what's going on up here, as you can see, you're very welcome to. Sometimes when we sing, the spirit of the temptations infuses in us, and we have to add, it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. You want to try that with me? And it flows through the mountains. Here we go. And it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yeah. So the choreography is just point to the mountain. So point to the mountain, then to the valley, then to the meadows of time. And we just add a little Motown flair to it. So just against the chorus. Watch. And it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Let's do the whole thing, everybody. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of last part goes like this. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Sing it with me. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Somebody can harmonize on that, right? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, let's do the whole thing now. There's a river somewhere that flows through the lives of everyone. And it flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. There's a star in your eye that brightens. There's a star in your eye that brightens the lives of everyone. Yeah, and it shines, and it shines, and it shines through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. All right, oh yes, oh yes it do. 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 Oh yes it do.
The very beginning of the Hebrew and Christian scriptures, in the first chapter of the book of Genesis, tells a story of how animals came to be on this earth. In this story, God creates the animals and the plants and then creates humans. And God says, let them, the humans, have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over the cattle, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. That word dominion is one that stood out to me. To have dominion over something means to be in charge of it, to have control over it. To have control over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. From the animals we eat, make clothes and tools from, do experiments on, to the forests we cut down, the oceans and rivers we pollute, and the air we fill with smog. Every living thing on earth was created to serve us. And this passage of the Bible has been used, whether consciously or not, to justify the cruelty we have visited upon the other living things on this earth for generations. It's been used to justify the enslavement of people thought of less than human. It's been used to justify the claiming of land in North America that was lived on by Native people, whose own spirituality and culture regarded the land and animals as sacred beings that coexisted alongside humans. It's been used to justify the inhumane, the not human practices that animals in factories undergo to this very day. But there is another way to think about dominion. Most people think of those two definitions I gave as the same. To be in charge of something means to have control over it. However, in the past century, There have been theologians and philosophers who advocate for a different understanding of the dominion of humankind. To be in charge of something is to be responsible for something. It is our sacred duty to care for and protect the animals of the earth. We must be stewards of the environment. This is the argument that philosophers and theologians like Andrew Lindsay and Peter Singer argue. Lindsay particularly focuses on the idea of dominion, our dominion over animals, as the reason we have a duty to treat them with kindness. I think that this argument is a powerful one, taking the justification for our power over animals and turning it into the very reason we need to take care of them. Anyone who has taken care of an animal knows this. Our animals need our love and protection. And at the same time, it's clear to me that animals are more than just something we have a duty to take care of. They are smart, fascinating creatures in their own right. There is so much we have to learn about the other beings we live on this earth with. But even in the past few decades, we have uncovered so much about the ways that other animals interact with each other. We know that chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, live in societies with structures and hierarchies just like ours. We know that dolphins are creative and caring. We know that elephants mourn for their dead. All of us are part of a culture here that emphasizes human dominion, human dominance, and we must make an active choice to reject that idea. As Unitarian Universalists, we know that there is so much we do not know about the universe. I believe a large part of that is all we do not know about the living things we interact with every day. But I invite us back to our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. To truly live into our values, to have respect for the system of life on this planet that we know so little about, we must remind ourselves to cherish and love all the animals in our lives.
Creatures of the earth and sky, come, kindred, lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia. Bright burning sun with golden beam, soft shining moon with silver gleam. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Rushing wind so wild and strong, white clouds that sail in heaven along. Alleluia, alleluia. Fair rising morn in praise rejoice. High stars of evening find a voice. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia. Embracing earth you day by day, bring forth your blessings on our way. Alleluia, alleluia. All herbs and fruits that richly grow, let them the glory also show. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
friends, as we enter a new week, let us be clear and grounded in our Unitarian Universalist commitment to life and to love. Life is precious, our own, that of other human beings, the living planet that we're a part of, all the vibrant and beautiful animal lives that we are connected to, that we are interdependent with. We are a people that recognize that there is good work to be done in improving the dignity with which we treat all around us, human, animal, environmental, and otherwise. We step into that work, we claim that work, unafraid of how hard it may be, the challenges that lie ahead, for fear does not deter us. The difficulty and challenges of the task will not deter us, because we are a people committed to love. And the fullest expression of love is an honoring of the dignity and beauty of all the lives that we are intrinsically connected to. May it be so. Go in peace.